Hello again. Can't even remember whether this darn thing has a red light to say that it's on or not, but pretty sure it has it on the screen, because if I'm going to do this whole thing for 10 minutes and then find out that it wasn't even running, I'm going to feel like, alright, well that's not the point, I won't even remember what I've said. Anyway, yes, back to today's little lecture. It's probably nothing new. I think everything in life, certainly for me, is a variation on a theme. And the theme is how to get more out of life and to avoid all the seen and the hidden turds on the street. You know, you can walk, and if you're looking ahead you don't look down, you can tread in one. If you look down you walk into a lamppost or another person. You can't avoid it all. And if you manage to have three eyes and look ahead and look down as well, then you'll get one from above, so don't even waste your time. You can't avoid it properly, but what you do is you build up your inner strength so that whatever hits you bounces off. That's the spiritual, the enlightenment process, the process that many start and few finish. I actually read in a Zen Buddhist book the other day that this woman says that none of her students have finished. She actually wrote more sense than just about all the others, but it doesn't seem to work. She does it. Nowadays, loads of these teachers that I see say they're enlightening people over and over again, which is quite new, because they never used to. So maybe it is something that we're evolving to. So, the continuing theme of intuition that I've had for a long time is where basically everything is rooted in for me, because I learnt eventually that most of the things that I thought I'd learnt, I never learnt anywhere, I just knew them. Which is alright for me, because, you know, if you see somebody, after 3 seconds say that guy's a criminal, you will behave as if that person's a criminal. You won't even question it, and you know they are. You try convincing other people. Waste of time until they actually do it, and then they say, oh, you were right, how did you know? Well, that's called intuition. You don't have any school for that or anything else. The Akashic records, pool of everything. We're all one, we're all connected. So if you imagine everything being connected by a spider's web, pull one bit or communicate along one bit, and you can do it infinitely. That's what the Akashic records are. They're like your radio. You tune into the bit you want, and if you're very lucky you actually get it, and if you've got it on all the time you get all sorts of other things you're not expecting as well, which is the top way of learning. The next way of learning is to teach, and the third way is to be taught. So there you go. I hope I'm doing a bit of everything. So the intuition gets you into a lot of trouble, because the trouble is all these politically motivated people, which I'm not one of. I think politics is actually an excuse to either show off that you're cleverer than everyone else, or be aggressive, or just basically be a bloody nuisance and interfere with everybody else's business, because people are nosy and busybodies and too, you know, obsessed with what other people out there are doing. Oh, I don't like what they're doing. Don't worry about what you're doing. You know, you don't look in. You look out, and you can be walking around with pants on for 2 weeks with skid marks, but you're still criticising the other person's clothes and haircut, because you're so focused on other problems that you don't even notice that you're 10 times worse than the people that you're criticising. So those are the sort of people that I think are busy in politics, and people that have got a grudge, dirty great chip on their shoulder about something as well. And unfortunately the worst of the lots, as far as I'm concerned, are the left wing, because they don't understand that there's no race in life. We're not racing each other. If you're racing each other, of course only 1 or 2 people are going to get medals and everyone else is going to lose. Life is not like that. There is enough to go around. Just because one person's successful doesn't make it a failure. Because one person becomes rich doesn't mean that the other people don't have it, because everybody can make money. It's something that is created as a result of production. If you do the production, you'll get the money. That's what growth is about. Growth of the economy is because you've got more production, so there's more value around from whatever people have put the value in with. Whether it's manufacturing or time or whatever else it is, you can grow infinitely. There's no need to grow infinitely because there's already enough. That's another story. But the point is that all these left-wingers think, oh, if you're rich then I'm poor, so I've got to do a Robin Hood and steal half your money so that I can have it. Well, you're not going to become a morally decent person by stealing the money from the rich, which is called income tax. And the more income tax you have, the more you're stealing, because those people earned it. It's their money, it belongs to them. Don't take it off them. You haven't got the right to do it. In fact, income tax, as far as I know, is treason. If you look at something like the Magna Carta, we only brought it in for a war. It's supposed to be temporary, and then we set the trend for the rest of the world. So, I mean, the extreme right wingers are just as bad, because they've got a grudge against everybody except their own people. That's tribalism. So, unlike the left, who would like to steal all your money, the right say, well, you know, everybody can have as much money as they like, but we're going to kill the people that are the wrong race or colour. So they're just psychopaths. But the extreme right really are probably a tenth as many as the extreme left, but they make a lot more noise, and they're all over Facebook. It used to be illegal to come out and be a Nazi in many countries, but you can do it on Facebook because the internet is not breaking the law if you do it, because the law has not reached the internet. You can't track them down and do anything about it. So they're all busy away there. I didn't realise there were so many, but there are, and some of them are quite proud of it, and they have these lovely swastikas on their pages, and they've got hundreds of friends as well. So what can you do? The thing about politics and spiritual stuff is we all really want the same thing. As my friend Maharaji says, we just want to be content and fulfilled. It's very simple. And my idea about enlightenment was always about feeling content, fulfilled, okay most of the time. And 99% of all the teachers that I've been to talk about this Buddhist business of a sort of 3-stage process where you watch your environment until your environment is clearly not you. Now, if you're watching your environment, that includes the inner as well as the outer, so everything out there and everything in here becomes one. So your thoughts, feelings, everything you see, everything you hear isn't distinguished between inner and outer. So you will eventually lose the distinction between me over here and you over there, because obviously if you look back at yourself you don't see anything. You've got to look in a mirror. So the concept of having a body, you actually have to look down and say, oh yeah, that's the body, that must be me. But of course, as soon as you look up, it's gone. So that's something you can get in 2 seconds just by looking ahead. Your body is gone, and you have to remember it's there. Because technically, you don't have one. All you're doing is you're this awareness, and this voice is coming out of nowhere. And then eventually, you're separate observer when you become the observer of everything, which means that it's no longer your problems, but you're just observing them as if they're outside. That'll go to just get this oneness where you lose your identity and everything is all one. That's meant to be enlightenment. Well, I think big deal. How can anyone... Oh, they also say that means you're immortal. I've never worked out the jump from being all one consciousness to being immortal, because I don't remember before 1960, because I hadn't been born then. So presumably when your body dies, I don't remember the last time, so I don't think I'll remember the next time, so I wouldn't risk it. So that's the standard form of enlightenment, but I always thought it was this other thing. So eventually I've come around one of these masters, because they're all on YouTube, and he actually agrees. He says that the only criterion for enlightenment is where you clear all your bugs away, so that the fear becomes 49% of your being. So when the fear reduces enough, then the good stuff will take over, and the fear can't come back, because it's the old light and dark. You put light in a room, and where does the dark go? You can't have light and dark, so when the light takes over, the dark has gone. And I like that. I mean, the techniques you use to become enlightened are irrelevant, because there are thousands of them. They're variations on 3 or 4 different themes, but as I've said before, the importance about it is to actually do it, not to worry about which method you're using, because a few methods are a waste of time just because they require so much effort for so little return. But having said that, even the new ones are variations on the old ones, but they just seem to be working better for more people. So that could be a shift. Don't have to watch the time anyway, because YouTube don't give us limits. So finally, the other thing is that I'm definitely part now of the connection of everything, because the knowledge of everything coming in without seeing it is the intuitive part, but the experience of everything as a whole is something that we can all see, because everybody around me witnesses it. So, you know, if I'm writing something on the internet and the same person on the radio reads what I've just written, of course he's not reading what I've written, he said it independently. That's not one or two words, it's a whole sentence, and that happens regularly. And that's one thing that's connected. I just went out this afternoon. Now where we live here, spread out for miles and miles, you very rarely see the same people twice. I hardly ever see anyone I know when I go out, you know, once a year if I'm lucky. So I went out today and I saw two people I knew within an hour. One I just stumbled into, and the other one came running after me when she saw me in another place. Because the energy opens up for these coincidences, and people all around me, when they've seen it happen to me, of course it starts happening to them because you pick it up. It's contagious because you become part of the system. Now that means basically that we are all connected in every way, that the energy is pulling things towards us somehow. Don't ask me how it happens, we don't need to know the details. That's the whole thing about spiritual results and practice. You don't need to know how it happens. You get a rough idea. Obviously if it's all connected, then you can't help being the script writer as well as the witness, because you know it's the difference between your TV and the internet. TV, you are a complete witness, you have no say over it, but the internet, you're reading this stuff the whole time, and you've got your keyboard there, and most sites allow you to join in and add your own opinions or put pictures or anything else like I'm doing now. So basically this world, you compare it with the internet, where you can have certain themes going at certain times, and with intuition, which works on the mental level, that you're picking up a thought, everything that's going on mentally is like your radio set, but everything that's going on physically is like your script writer. So the same threads that connect everything mentally with the Akashic records that you're thinking, presumably what happens is that they produce things as well, so they will send events as well as thoughts to you and make things happen, bunches of them, and you know, so many of them. When it happens 500 times, it can't actually be down to chance. It's the odds are too great, and you know, as I say, it's not just me. People are with me when it happens, and once they've seen it happen a few times, they'll ring me up and say it's still happening. You know, why is it still happening? And then after a while, you expect it to happen. You expect it, and it becomes a new level of science, like Newton. We've gone above Newton. It's now quantum science, because most of this they're finding happens at the quantum level, so it's actually real at that level. And of course what happens below an atomic structure, you've got a quantum structure. So our foundations are not atomic foundations as whole atoms, they are below that at the quantum level. So no doubt, you know, of course it's going to happen at this level as well, because it's all beneath everything that we think is solid. Anyway, I think that's enough of a lecture for today. I hope you've learned something, and far more important, I hope this video did actually work, otherwise I've wasted the last 15 minutes. Goodbye.